Okay, you know what that means. Yes, it's time for my video opinion. So, here's my take on this one on Holy Week. Because as I said, you know, you probably just missed it. Yesterday's Blaze Nation Thursdays podcast from Angels on Productions, and so it's YouTube Studios that I give my video thoughts about that Holy Week and all that. So you just gotta trust me about that. But here's a sneak preview. Well, you guessed it. Next Sunday's Blaze Nation Holiday Podcast special from Angels on Productions. And you might think it's so smart about the Bible and all that stuff. Here's your worst nightmare. I try to swipe it. And you guessed it. When these kids are studying, yeah, all that for this. I'll give you a sneak preview and show how the examples of this one. This is a newer international version of the Holy Bible, and has something to do with that. Do with this. All this could be easy to read and all that stuff. So I'll give you the whole scenario for next Sunday's Blaze Nation Holiday Podcast special, and it's something to do with guess what? Holy Week. And you might think it's so smart about celebrating this, according to Blaze Media, and I just did post it on the web. Yeah, LHMusic's World website, and you probably noticed by now about this one. But here's my catch about this one. Give you a huge scenario. Because of the Latin Patriarch of Jerusalem has been announced that Holy Week observances has been canceled or postponed. Yeah, all because of the Iran war. Yeah, Iran wars latest huge casualty about this military conflict inside the Holy Land is all raging on about this one. Well, because over the weekend, Cardinal Pierbattista Pizzaballa, it sounds like pizza, what is it? Yeah, of course, has been issued a huge statement, according to guess the LPJ.org website. Could be the ongoing war about this, yeah, U.S. Israeli war strikes. It has a whole restrictions. Could be not being permitted to the faithful experience, as far as we're concerned, in the traditional Lenten journey in Jerusalem, because that means Palm Sunday, this Sunday, after this 40 days of Lent. Yeah, and like I said, that's why I did learn everybody's lesson that I try to stay away from Whoopi Goldberg to James Tarico talks about Christian faith and all that crap, and so is Jasmine Crockett's blabbermouth, blah 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 blah, whatever. Because 40 days is over, it's done. It's time to get the Palm Sunday groove started with a processional from Jerusalem to the Mount of Olives. And could be the Christmas Mass. Could be a traditional Mass offering to during this Holy Week. And Bishop trusts the consecrating sacred oils has been, and now it has been postponed to a date to be determined about this competitive authorities. Well, could be what about other leaders of other Christian churches in America, such as Lutherans, Presbyterians, United Methodist Baptists, including Episcopalians like me? Well, who knows, could be civilized. Because Holy Week has ever situated to constantly evolving decisions to be made on a day-to-day basis. Because, could be added to this to the Catholic churches of, you guessed it, Latin uh, Patriarch, you guess that of Jerusalem will cover Israel, Palestine, and Jordan and Cyprus will remain open, and that's why here's my observation. This is what happens. This is the heart. This is Cardinal Pizzabella says the harshness of this time of war will affect all of us, and today bears a huge burden not be able to celebrate Easter together with dignity. And this is a wound that adds many others afflicted in, by the conflict of this one. So we must allow ourselves to be discouraged. And though though we're not gathered together, where it is, would we like, let's not let's not give up prayer because everybody knows Pizza Bella has invited the faithful wherever it went to recite this rosary. Yeah, March 28th. Oh no, March 28th. Do we have no kings parade or in? No. Well, I don't care what no kings parade really looks like. Could be a huge parade protest or whatever happens. It happens across America, including, Omaha metro area, as far as we're concerned. You might think but here's my observation. To employ the gift of peace and serenity, and especially for those who suffered because of the conflict that everybody has been causing it. Because this is why everybody knows about Palm Sunday. It could be go all the way to Spy Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. But Monday, Thursday is traditional to have bread and wine, and everybody washes their own feet traditionally, and that's why Jesus went to the Garden of Gethsemane to pray about this. So who knows civilized? But I'll explain this next Sunday's BlazeNation Holiday Podcast special, and next Sunday because I know it's be Easter. Because after Monday, Thursday, and Good Friday and Holy Saturday, which is it? Yeah, Easter could be the message of hope, and that's why Easter will be celebrated in the name of Christ, passion, death, and resurrection. And it reminds us that there is no darkness and not even that war. Period. It can have the last word. What about the empty tune is sealed of the victory of life over hatred? Well, guess what? Of mercy over sin. That's what happens. And just remember all the bits and pieces about Iran just not just strike about this one, as Trump calls a de-escalation about this one. Could be life challenging. But this is the custody inside this holy land has made a huge statement about this one. So who knows could be civilized. What about no kings? Did you just say in LHMusic? And what about Palm Sunday action at First United Methodist Church? Well, we'll get inside the bottom of this. So we have to wait patiently as far as we're concerned about that as well. So we'll find out what it is, all the bits and pieces all together. Because all of us Christians knows about Holy Week celebrations could be life challenging to everyone else, can be civilized. If you want to take a look at this, you should read this Bible. Trust me, you can read the Bible and learn about, yes, Christ's passion, death, and resurrection during this Holy Week. And I'll find out what it is. That's like give you a huge sneak preview about this one. So you don't want to hear and a little bit of bits and pieces according to Blaze Media and all that. So trust me, So, like I said, just mark your calendars. All of you conservative and us Christian conservative people out there. To, you guessed it, very special edition of Blaze Nation Holiday Podcast special. It's all about the traditions of Holy Week and all that stuff. Yeah, Palm Sunday all the way to Easter. And I'll be doing this next. I'll be doing this because I will record this on this Audacity website on my computer, and I'll be uploading it on Spotify next weekend, and you're gonna hear it next Sunday. It's a very special edition, a very special, holiday podcast from you guessed it, Blaze Nation, and so it's Angel Song Productions, as far as we're concerned. And I don't care if you want to go to bed at night, so please do that as well. So you just have to trust us as well. And like I said, you should download it and listen to it. Let me say it again. Just download it and listen to it on the iHeartRadio app, all the way up to Apple Podcasts. Sounds simple to you? Good. Hope you learn. Anyways, that's my video opinion, and I'm sticking to it. So there. See you Sunday for this Blaze Nation Holiday Podcast special from Angel Song Productions. Oh boy.